This episode is brought to you by Trailer Park Yard Games, where over 28 games are delivered directly to your party. We park the trailer, you party. And the only thing I really look at on social media anymore, and it's a Facebook group called Kleber Nights Talking, and then in parentheses it says After Dark. Kleber Nights. Mm-hmm. And
did Kyle Kerbleton send you?
No, my brother doesn't even live in Kleber, and he told me about it. They were screenshotting stuff to me, and it's freaking ridiculous, but it's real, I guess. But like for example, one said the 7-Eleven on Main Street's nasty. Well, once you post, like in this group that it's a free for all. People can say whatever they want, and the admin don't really kick you out. So, but there are people that do kick you out somehow. But the first comment under that was, "Yo, mama's nasty," and then people just start fighting. But they love it, and it is one of the best groups I've ever been a part of. Now I won't post anything.
That is what we need, because you don't want to get you're gonna get burned at the stake if you say anything.
And then one was like, "Whoever got all the Dr. Pepper Zero from Walmart, your mama's a hoe." And then people just start fighting. And then one lady, she posted on there, super sad, like,
"Let's have a chat, talk this and that with PB and Jaisy."
Hello and welcome to the PB and Jaisy podcast.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Bill.
It's the OGs here. We got Sarah, we got Bill, we got me.
And Tom.
Tom over there with the munchies.
Go ahead, eat a chip. Let's hear it.
You're
Let's
eating while we're doing the podcast,
Let's
Tom?
hear it.
Do some ASMR.
Oh, yeah.
So today we thought it would be fun since, knock on wood, we're pretty removed from all of the crazy things that were happening in 2020.
Yes.
So we want to see, for example, Bill.
Hey, I'm just trying to protect myself.
We ran out of masks, so Bill's using
some sort of weird kinky thing that him and Ann have been doing. He's
I just don't want to get COVID.
What's your safe word, Bill?
Well, I don't know. I just don't want to get COVID. I'll be okay. This stops all COVID germs.
Yes. We were reliving and talking about all of the crazy things that were happening in 2020, all the conspiracy theories, people walking around going to the grocery store with pads on their faces.
Oh yeah, I remember the maxi pad lady.
Mm-hmm. Or like the coffee, coffee filters.
Yeah.
Or goggles.
Shirts, goggles.
I was on a plane just a couple weeks ago, and the people in front of me were wearing goggles, not masks. But they had identical goggles on that had protection all the way around, so there was no openings on either one of their eyes.
Maybe had like a rare couple's eye disease.
Yeah, maybe they had pink eye and they were protecting you.
Yeah.
I just kind of, they wiped down the whole seat on the plane when they got in, so they were very germ phobic.
But they didn't wear a mask.
They did not wear a mask, but they had
Did you mask
goggles.
them white?
No, I didn't mask them white.
I found some myths, and I forgot about some of this. Of course, we all remember that, that coronavirus was engineered in a lab in China.
Well, China.
Right? China.
Well, I've heard that there might be some sort of truth to that.
Well,
because the initial thing that I was circulating was a bat. Yeah, and then the bat was at like an open market and someone ate the bat or something weird like that.
Well, I remember, so this is when the word COVID or coronavirus, COVID. I have COVID. That sounds like an STD. I do not have COVID. When COVID first came out, or coronavirus, everybody was saying coronavirus or whatever, Lysol bottles already had coronavirus on the back of it. It was it had been something that had been around
there for years.
But it wasn't, this was, I guess, a different strand or more powerful.
Oh, yes, because it is a form of SARS, because it's a respiratory illness. And so it's just like a form of it that's corona. And so then COVID-19.
So if you have like an old can of Lysol that because most people keep that stuff under their bathroom sink or something, look at it. It says coronavirus on it.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay. The other one said wealthy elites intentionally spread the virus to win power and profit to kill the poor folk.
But it killed old people.
Well, and Tom Hanks got it, so that can't be true.
That was when COVID became real for Tom and I. I remember
when Tom Hanks died.
Yeah,
he didn't die.
Tom thought it's coming for all the Toms. I'm worried. I remember that night we were laying in bed and I'm pregnant, and Xander was a year and a half old or something like that, and we're all of a sudden he gets on his phone that Tom Hanks has it, and then he's like, I don't think I'm going to go to the office tomorrow. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to go to the office tomorrow. And it was
he was in like Australia or something at the time, right?
He was filming a movie, and that's when it was, I don't know what it was about Tom Hanks getting it. It was just like, it's getting everyone.
That's when you started wearing the mask at home, right?
But I remember for the longest time, I didn't know anyone that had it yet. So I was very skeptical. I was like, I don't know anyone that's had it. Like all the people that I know and all the Facebook friends and even people that are in different parts of the country, I don't know anybody that's had it yet.
Well, and Anna and I are the same way. So when it first came out, we didn't know anybody that had it, but we were nervous. We didn't know what was happening.
Not like we can go back and what happened last time we got here.
Yeah, so we had groceries delivered, which we had never done before, but we figured that was safe, right?
Did you wipe down all your items?
And this is the stupid part of it. So the person sets the groceries on a porch. I won't open the door, just leave them there on the porch. They leave. I make Ann get me all the wipes that we have in the house. I put on gloves and a mask, and I'm wiping down all my groceries and take them out of the bag.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm like, looking back on it, that was the dumbest thing that why in the world did I think I had to wipe off the outside of my orange?
Yeah.
Well,
so what I would do was I would go grocery shopping at 6 a.m. when Kroger would open. I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning once a week.
They only allow old people in at 6 a.m.
I was pregnant at that time.
Okay.
So if you're pregnant or elderly, I was able to go in. I wore a mask. I didn't wear gloves, but I would sanitize as soon as I got in the car. And then as soon as I got home, before I would bring everything in, certain things like, toilet paper, which I wasn't hoarding either, or any of that kind of stuff I would just leave it in the garage for like a couple of days. But fruits and vegetables, all the other things that were coming in, I would wipe everything down. Fruits and vegetables, I would wash them all in the sink. And then, because that's what they were telling us to do. I remember watching it on TikTok, like how to properly wash things and all that stuff like that. And then the next month it was like, it only survives on surfaces for like 5 minutes or something like that. So I'm like, what the heck?
But at the same time they were telling us to do all this, when they let us go back to restaurants, they said you had to wear your mask until you sat down and ate. So apparently it doesn't come below 3.5 feet.
No, not while you're eating.
Yeah.
Well, and I can remember too, my mom was my mom is very, she's a hugger and all about family. Mm-hmm. And she was so just distraught that she hadn't seen us or been able to hug us, that we would like drive by and like wave at them. They'd sit on the porch and wave back at us. So she bought like these hazmat suits on Amazon so she could hug the grandkids.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was a true.
Well, you remember the birthday parties we did when it first came out?
Drive-bys.
We would drive by, so we would have 80 people in the office get in cars.
Michael's 40th birthday.
Have a parade by someone's house and throw presents out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we didn't, at the time we had the offices in essence shut down. We were open, but you couldn't come in and use the office per se. We weren't meeting clients in the office. And it was a weird time because we didn't know what we didn't know. But
as more information started coming on, then you just felt dumb for doing things 2 weeks ago, and it was like, well, that's what they said 2 weeks ago. Now they're saying something else.
Something different. Well, and I can remember too. I won't name names, but somebody in our office was one of the first people I knew that had gotten vaccinated, and it was like a free for all for them. No mask. They picked up a piece of paper off the printer or a stack of paper, and they licked their fingers and was going like this. And I was like, hey, please don't lick my paper. Like, oh, I'm vaccinated. I'm like, I don't really think that works that way because I'm not. And, you're licking things. Like, please, do I have to tell you not to lick my paper?
Yeah. Well, there were also other things as I was looking it up. There were so many other things. 2020 was just a year of craziness. Mm-hmm. Other than just COVID, there was, at the beginning of the year, starting off 2020 there was a huge Australian bushfire that was from 2019 all the way into 2020. Just everything was burning. It looked like something from like an apocalyptic movie scene.
That's really how it felt at first. I remember telling my mom, because we basically got the message, hey, get your stuff, get home. We'll let you know when we know more. But, get what you need because you may not be able to come back to the office for a while. And, when churches started shutting down and stuff, I'm like, I felt like I was in a movie.
The NBA, when that NBA shut down, that was crazy. The Olympics.
We were in California. Sarah and Michael and Ann and I, we were at Century 21 convention, if you remember, back when COVID first started. And everybody was outside doing their thing, and people were elbow to elbow around each other. Mm-hmm. And we started getting word that there was this nasty disease out, and it was coming from China. The plane we were getting on had just come from China to LA that was flying us back to Dallas.
Oh, so we brought you COVID. You're welcome.
Great.
So I don't remember the fires.
Yeah, the fire had happened. I'm sure y'all remember the massive panic buying.
Yes.
That was at
toilet paper.
Right at everybody's buying, hoarding everything. Lysol.
Do you
shortage.
remember? Were you alive? When were you born?
At the July 1989. Why could I not?
Okay. Well, I didn't know Y2K. That's kind of what everybody did.
Yeah.
Y2K also. They just like freaked out and
I was
buying weird stuff.
I was with the company then, and we had procedures. We had to go by and shut off every computer we had. A manager had to come in and make sure they were all shut off and unplugged on December 31st because we didn't know what was going to happen at midnight. So
filling up gas tanks.
Yeah.
But I can remember even COVID, somebody had said in the office, they were like, somebody's about to make some kind of announcement that's going to change all the gas prices, like go fill up now. And I remember like the whole office left to go fill up their tanks. I don't even remember what the news report was, but
wow,
it was a lot of panic.
What else was there? Obviously the world on lockdown from February until some places I think are still kind of locked down.
What about like the essential conversation? Everyone arguing on what was essential. And
alcohol was deemed essential.
Or what employees are essential.
Real estate was essential.
Yeah, doctors, of course.
Police, nurses.
Which I still don't understand why real estate was essential.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Me too.
It was great, but yeah, we had all had conversations.
But you couldn't get your hair did, but you could sell real estate.
Do you guys remember the Zoom happy hours?
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Those were terrible.
But we just needed to connect.
Yes. Everyone was doing 75 hard. You did. You
75 hard while drinking.
You had rock hard abs.
That was after 2020. That was 2021.
Doing it because of
COVID. Yeah.
March 2020, the crashing of the Dow. I had no idea.
No.
That had happened. I
What
guess
were
I
you
don't
talking
really
about?
follow the stock
Was the
market.
Murder Hornets 2020?
Yes, that was. So it's going month by month. So April, aliens were confirmed by the government. They had released. Have y'all seen the released video from the government of like UFO footage?
You're joking, right?
Yeah. Do y'all remember this happening?
No, I don't watch the news, so you have to bring this all up.
What else were y'all doing during 2020?
Well, we were sheltering in place.
Not the news.
I remember hearing about that on the Joe Rogan podcast and being like, what? And then watching the video and being like,
well, Joe Rogan got canceled, right?
They confirmed this? They confirmed that? Okay, so then May was the Murder Hornets.
So we're just now in May of this.
We're barely in May. Also in May, Elon Musk named his son like a weird XAE-A-12. That's not the craziest thing Elon Musk has done, though.
No,
so
not
I'm
since then, yeah.
Parallel universe hoax happened. I don't remember this.
No, me neither.
There was, in June, there was a huge locust invasion. That happened.
That's when we were like, Jesus is coming back.
Because it happened in India. I think even parts of Africa had the locust. They were calling it Swarmageddon.
Was 2020 Snowmageddon or was that 2021?
That was specific to Texas. That's why it's not on here. Yeah, that was. No, was that 2021?
That was 2021.
It was, yeah.
Because we were like, a new year. And then God was like, everything's freezing.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Gotcha. There was the whole political debate about masks happening in July. And it was just everybody against everybody. Why wear a mask? That's dumb. You look like sheep. That was a huge...
you're a sheep. Yep.
Okay, I remember this. I don't know if y'all follow like NASA and all that kind of stuff, but there was the missing star in July.
Oh.
No.
Okay, so there's this huge star in a dwarf galaxy. I sound so nerdy right now.
You are talking really nerdy.
That is like 20 times the size of the sun that scientists had been following for years and years. And then in July of 2020, it disappeared. Literally just disappeared, and they think that it got swallowed into like a black hole.
Did COVID get it?
Tom, does this turn you on when she talks like this?
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that?
You like when she talks nerdy to you? Yeah. There was a dwarf galaxy.
There was a dwarf,
and a star got
galaxy
swallowed.
far away. Okay, y'all have to remember this.
Are these effects of COVID?
Do y'all remember the mysterious seed packages that people were getting in July?
Yes, I forgot about that.
I think it was from China. People
you
were
would
saying.
order something and you would get these little packets of seeds, And they would have like it wouldn't say who it was from or anything, and it would just have like it would be in a different language. Like yeah.
But people were planting them. I don't know. I wouldn't open that. If I saw it, I would immediately call like the police.
Like it's anthrax.
Yeah. Oh, the anthrax. That was
anthrax was a whole deal too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The huge fires in California that were burning for months and months.
That happens every year. It just got publicity in 2021.
Colorado had some in 2021 too, because my brother had to evacuate.
Oh. So in October, apparently there was a venom caterpillar. I don't remember that. I feel like it just got so weird. The monolith, it was like that weird metal tower thing that was found in Utah, and then other ones were popping up in other places.
They were just a big metal structure that nobody knew how.
And there were so many rumors about that. People were saying that it was like aliens. Some people were saying it was like some artist that's just trying to
make a name or something.
Yeah. And then December, of course, the virus leveled up. The virus just got stronger.
That was the new strand.
So my question is, and here's the thing that you didn't read, but I found very unique. Prior to 2020, I think people were pretty normal. Okay, they had their weirdness about them. I mean, but I think they were pretty normal. They knew what lane was theirs, and they stayed in it. Right? If you were a doctor, you were a doctor. If you were a lawyer, you were a lawyer. If you laid bricks, you were a bricklayer. But COVID came, and it gave us this brilliant intelligence because all of a sudden, everybody in America is a doctor.
Everyone.
And every time something happens now, everybody in America knows everything about all the ins and outs of everything.
Yeah. They all went to Facebook University and learned it all.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like
people who I went to high school with that did not do well in school were somehow the most intelligent about the inner workings of politics and the inner workings of
constitutional law and COVID.
The ways that a virus works and interacts with your body, the way that scientists research these things, all of that, somehow they have this knowledge of. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool.
Well, and it got super, at first it was kind of scary and everyone was like, we're Americans, we're all in this together. And then it got super political. Yeah. And then, there was such a big divide that we still haven't come back from that.
Well, in the beginning, it was very unified with Tiger King. There was all of these shows that were bringing people together. It was all, we're separate but together and all of that.
Well, I think one of the things that it also showed...
Of course, we had an election during that time.
Yeah, it became a very polarized election because of that. But it showed that people can't say, one, they can't keep their mouth shut when they should, probably like I should do right now, but it also showed that they couldn't say, hey, I'm wrong, and please forgive me because I was wrong. They pushed all kinds of things out there, and regardless of what our beliefs are, COVID was certainly real. People died from the disease.
For sure.
I don't want to take anything away from that. But some of the things that they pushed upon us, they're now coming back out and saying, the very person who pushed it upon us is now coming back out and saying, yeah, maybe we didn't know all we needed to know about that at that time.
Well, and the CDC just fired I don't know how many people. They laid off a ton of people and have been saying, well, we were wrong about this and we handled this wrong. And I think they have a new director or something too. Yeah,
they're working on all of that, trying to save face. And I think that the lesson that maybe all of us can get from it, as we look back at a humorous thing that happened, well, it wasn't humorous, but looking back at it's humorous, is oftentimes as we're going through life, we make a mistake. In fact, I make them all day long.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, like I mispronounced.
We can confirm.
I mispronounced someone's.
Phobie?
Yeah, phobie. And you guys called me out in the middle of the podcast.
Have you ever watched Friends? I love Phobie. Yeah. She's my favorite.
Phobie.
You called me out in the middle of the podcast on it. And
our guest even called you.
Yeah. Both of them were like, what?
Yeah, well, what can you say?
But that didn't happen in 2020.
But I think people have to learn how to say, hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake.
Yes.
And please forgive me, and let's move forward, and let's quit being so daggum polarized.
Well, I think, too, people want to be the first to report something or to say something or be, I knew that was going to happen for anybody else. And because there's social media, you can now document. You're pretty much copywriting what you say. So if I'm the first one to say, oh, yeah, this is this, this, and this, and hopefully I'm right, then I can document that and say, hey, I was the first one to say that. But think about everyone in the world doing that, and now you just have all this misinformation that people are, shooting from the hip.
And you got craziness, and there's a social media site that I won't even look at anymore called Nextdoor. But every time I go on there, we've got, for lack of a better word, Karens telling everybody what's happening to, they were complaining, hey, these guys drove down the street. And they don't live here.
I am a part, I'm just going to put out there because you guys might want to join it. It is the best thing that's ever happened in my life, and the only thing I really look at on social media anymore. And it's a Facebook group called Kleber Nights Talking, and then in parentheses it says After Dark. Kleber Nights. Mm-hmm. And it's
did Kyle Kerbal send you?
No, my brother doesn't even live in Cleveland. And he told me about it. They were screenshotting stuff to me, and it's freaking ridiculous. But it's just it's real, I guess. But like for example, one said the 7-Eleven on Main Street's nasty. Well, once you post, like in this group that it's a free for all. People can say whatever they want, and the admin don't really kick you out. So. But there are people that do kick you out somehow. But the first comment under that was, "Yo, mama's nasty." And then people just start fighting, but they love it. And it is one of the best groups I've ever been a part of. Now, I won't post anything.
That is what we need, because you don't want to get, you're going to get burned at the stake if you say anything.
And then one was like, whoever got all the Dr. Pepper Zero from Walmart, your mama's a hoe. And then people just start fighting. And then one lady, she posted on there, super sad, like, we lost, my son's cat got out and got ran over. And people are like, I'm so sorry that your son's precious cat that you love more than anything was left outside to the effects of road, and now it's dead. I'm so sorry. Like, they're just mean.
Oh no.
And there's a lot of Karens on there.
Oh.
So
wow, that's crazy.
I don't get paid anything for promoting that.
So should I post about Ann's chickens?
We will link that down below if you would like to join that group.
Yeah.
There's like 22,000 members so far.
I need to join this.
I'm not. It'll drive me crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid Karens.
It's really fun.
That was the interesting thing about Tom and I always say that there's nothing that you should be so dig your heels in so far. Like, that's the hill that you're willing to die on. Like, you should always be open and perceptive to hearing the other side of something. But I feel like the biggest problem with today is people don't listen to the other side. Like, you may feel very strongly, which is great to feel be passionate, be super, like, whatever. But you should never let that hinder you from hearing someone else. Right. Just stop for a second, literally just listen to the other side. But don't just let it hit on blank ears. Like, really open yourself up to being like, all right, maybe there's some truth to, I shouldn't have left my cat outside. Right. Maybe there's some truth to this.
Right.
Maybe my mama is a hoe because I bought all the Dr. Pepper from Walmart.
Well, and I think I used the quote before, but my friend had told me one time, she's like, I've never learned anything from somebody that agrees with me. And I'm like, man, that is so true.
I think it's good to disagree, and I think you're allowed to have disagreements.
I totally disagree.
You totally disagree? Yeah. But I think that's how we grow, is by saying...
If you have the right kind of disagreement.
If you have the right type of disagreement, but there's a way to do it. Healthy, robust debate in life is good. And in business, it's good. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision. And then everybody has to abide by that decision. Could you run a business if you came in and said, okay, we're all going to disagree, we're going to make a decision, but everybody's still going to gripe about the decision that's made and move forward?
Right.
And that's kind of what we've done. We've got to figure out how to get past that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we do have a little, I want you to do this one, Jaisy. We have our Tales from the Lockbox. I think that'll go good with our subject today.
Yes.
Oh, you have to do your thing.
Do I have to do my thing?
Yeah.
Tales from the Lockbox.
I think by the time this airs, we will be in October, official Halloween month. This is not a creepy story.
So spooky.
So this one I got... Oh, this is from one of my friends who is a travel agent, not Mark Ambrose. It's a different one. I didn't even know he was a travel agent.
We know now.
That shows you how good of a job he's doing. I will not call his name. So a man called him furious about a Florida package that he had done. And he asked him, so what's wrong with the vacation in Orlando. And he said that he was expecting an ocean view room. So he told him, like, that's not possible. Orlando's in the middle of the state. And so he said, don't lie to me. I looked at a map. It's a very skinny state.
This was not Mark that did this.
Yeah, Mark would never do that.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, on that, I think I'm going to level up just a little bit. And, you know, this is from an author that's unknown. To inspire other people, don't show them your superpowers, show them theirs.
Ooh, that's good.
That's really good.
And then from a person that I was very fortunate to meet while I was still alive, Judge Fight, he had a saying, and it was, and I heard this the first time I went to a luncheon, always play people's favorite radio station, MMFI, and that stands for Make Me Feel Important. So while we all disagree and we all have different ways of doing things, what our job really should be is about making other people important, making sure that we show them their superpowers, and learning that we're all just really on this earth to love each other and
We all just want to fit in and be loved and accepted.
Yeah.
Well, I love both of y'all.
No, I love you
Yeah,
guys.
so-
And you
I
too,
love-
Tom.
Yeah.
Even the mustache.
He's pretty cool.
Even
I
the
think we need to
mustache.
get
I'm not
Tom.
sure about
Hold
the
on,
mustache.
before this mustache goes away,
Can you
Tom
please
needs
show
to
us your
pop into the
mustache?
camera. We have to
Show
document
the
it.
people. Give the people what they want.
Let's document the stash.
I had no problem showing.
Now, I did offend him earlier because I asked him how many days he'd been growing this, and he said it is 2 weeks.
caterpillar here.
It's a cookie duster. Your little cookie duster.
Aw, so sweet.
Oh, goodness
Thank you.
gracious.
All right.
Well, with that, thank you all for listening. P sure.
That mustache got her all crazy.
Yeah, it's got me feeling all sorts of ways. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, all of that. And we will link down below the Facebook group for the Kleber Nights because everyone needs that in their
it's
lives.
amazing.
So
It'll change your life.
just to sweeten your week. So with that, PB and JC,
We out.
Just had a chat, talk this and that with PB